So we'll start by settling the body, adopting a stable, comfortable, upright position serviceable for meditation. So we think about keeping our feet flat and our back straight, torso open. Hands in the lap, right over left, with the palms upturned and the thumbs gently touching. Our eyes are gently closed or slightly open, making sure we let in enough light to remain alert. Try to maintain an awareness of not slouching, not leaning, but we also let go of any unnecessary tension or rigidity in the body, relaxing into a stable, comfortable, upright position, just allowing the body to fall into place. And we begin to let go of attending to the environment, moving the mind, moving the awareness inward, constraining it just to the body and mind. Beginning to concentrate that awareness in the present by attending closely to the physical sensation that accompanies the in-breath and the out-breath in the space around the opening of the nostrils. Giving ourselves the instruction to notice quickly when anything other than that one physical sensation is arising in the mind, and without judgment or frustration, lifting our awareness up from those distractions and placing it gently but firmly again and again on the breath. And then when the mind feels more calm, we generate a broad and altruistic motivation for our time, taking a moment to intentionally widen our circle of concern, trying to embrace countless sentient beings within the field of our practice, recognizing their kindness toward oneself, not just in this life, but over beginningless past lives, thinking that every single sentient being has played roles, engaged in activities that were beneficial to oneself again and again, seeing oneself as the recipient of this incredibly vast, interdependent web of kindness, and wishing to repay that kindness, thinking that it is unbearable that sentient beings find other sentient beings suffer. And yet, the existential condition of all sentient beings is to meet with difficulties and obstacles again and again without choice, to never be truly, perfectly, completely happy, satisfied, content, being moved by that existential condition, developing the strong wish to place all sentient beings in a state of perfect happiness, a state beyond suffering, and recognizing that that depends upon one's own mind, the actual familiarities, the actual capacities of one's own mind. So I think the purpose of our time is to develop those familiarities, those capacities, so that we can be of benefit to sentient beings, so that we can repay their kindness. And with that motivation, recently we contemplated impermanence and death because, as we've said, the content of our mind at death is of critical importance. Our ability to experience the process of body and mind separating in a way that is calm, focused, that is the most well suited to the ripening of positive, beneficial karmic seeds. It's critically important. So we know that only actions motivated by constructive states of mind, like love and compassion, generosity, patience, ethics, are the kinds of karmic seeds that are beneficial at the time of death. So we contemplate in this life how focused on that cultivation of virtue have I been? How often is my mind coming under the influence of attachment, anger, jealousy, deluded pride? How many non virtuous impulses can we say that we have in a day, a week? And certainly all of the even constructive actions that we've done have been mixed with a belief in inherent existence, limiting that karma to ripen within cyclic existence. So think that in truth, there's a lot of uncertainty about what comes during and after the time of death. And that's due to what we've taken refuge in most often. Is it true that most often we take refuge in comfort, in pleasures, in our status, our wealth, our power, our reputation? Is it true that we turn toward these temporary sources of enjoyment when things are difficult? Look back over your own life and just see if that's true. Try to generate some insight as to whether that is helping or hindering the cultivation of virtue. And then, if we think deeply about the nature of our own mind, even though we see the challenges in overcoming tendencies and habits that are not constructive, we can recognize some progress. We can recognize moments in our life when we did give rise to love, compassion, wisdom, and we acted kindly, generously, ethically. You can see that the mind is changeable, and we can see those that are further along on the path, examples in our world, and the Buddha being the perfect example, the Buddha being furthest along on the path that we are on. So we can recognize that the more that we can turn toward the Buddha's wisdom, the Buddha's teachings, the Buddha's example, the more that we can rely on that, the easier it will be to engage in virtue, to avoid these negative, non virtuous impulses, to create the kind of mind that's most beneficial for oneself and for others, just by changing what we take refuge in. So think back over in the last few weeks, few months, come up with a few examples of times when you spontaneously, instinctually felt like turning to refuge to something worldly, to solve a problem, and you felt that the solution was more comfort, more wealth, greater status, greater power. And imagine instead turning toward the Buddha, his teachings, your practice. How would that have change things. Generate an insight into the shortcomings, the limitations of turning toward those worldly sources of refuge. Recognizing that the goal isn't the manipulation of external events, the actual content of my mind. It has had a strong determination to become more and more aware in daily life of where you are turning for refuge. and to try to adjust more and more, turning to these perfect sources, completely unmistaken sources. And then when you're ready, we'll come back together and we'll dedicate. So recollect your altruistic motivation and think that by having engaged in this contemplation, you've actualized that motivation, which has generated positive energy in the mind. And think that you freely offer the fruit of your practice, that positive energy for the benefit of all sentient beings without exception. Being strongly when that positive energy ripens, may it serve as a cause and condition to eliminate war and conflict, poverty, famine, disease, disasters, all painful inner and outer conditions. May it fully ripen the minds of all sentient beings. May they quickly meet perfect teachers and arise in the state of full enlightenment. May I too achieve the state of enlightenment in order to work for the benefit of sentient beings perfectly. May any obstacles facing the Guru's long life be completely dispelled. May I and all sentient beings in this moment come under the joyful care and guidance of enlightened beings. May we be guided and protected until we swiftly achieve that state of enlightenment. Thank you.